election year or not, I knock on doors. It's what I know to do. And what I've found over the last several years is this creeping pessimism around our state. People wonder whether things can get better. People have been jobless for too long. People that have jobs haven't seen their wages increase. And people start thinking to themselves, in an economy like today, they start wondering whether prosperity is impossible. It's impossible, they start to think, that college can become more affordable. It's impossible, they start to think, that manufacturing can come back to this country. It's impossible, they start to think, that we can build new technologies to make this country energy independent. And frankly, it's not the first time that people have thought that something was impossible. My mother grew up in the Mount Pleasant housing projects, just a stone's throw away from here. And I bet you, as she grew up in those housing projects, she probably thought that it was impossible that one day she would have a son who could be a United States Congressman and be the Democratic endorsed candidate for the United States Senate. But that's the American dream. And the reason that I know that the impossible is never impossible, the reason I know that there are better days ahead for this state and this country is because everything that I've ever done has been running against the odds. People didn't think that I could, at 24 years old, be a 14-term anti-choice, anti-gay rights incumbent. I went out and I knocked on 8,000 doors, and we beat the odds. People didn't think that I could pass the nation's first law legalizing and funding stem cell research in this country. People told me I could never, ever beat Nancy Johnson. But because of a lot of people right over in that section of the room, we went out. And we didn't just beat her, we creamed her by 13 points, and we changed Congress in the process. And people said that when I got to Congress that we couldn't pass health care reform, that it hadn't been done for 100 years, why would we do it today? Well, we did it. And today, for the first time in this nation's history, we are committed to health care being a human right, not just a privilege available to those people that can afford it. And so that brings us to this moment. People say that in the face of unprecedented spending from billionaires and from super PACs, that the Democratic Party can't overcome that kind of spending. But this fight, and that fight, is the most important one I've ever been a part of. Let me tell you why. If you were in Congress with Joe Courtney and John Larson, Rosa and Jim and I this last week, let's give it up for Joe Courtney, Jim Larson, John Larson, Rosa. You would have seen the Republican agenda at work. They passed a budget measure that stripped away all federal funding for Meals on Wheels, gutted funding for child care, threw millions of families off food stamps. All for what? All for what? Just to fund another $200,000 tax cut for millionaires. That, my friends, is the agenda that will be a reality in Congress if we allow either Lincoln McMahon or Chris Shays to get this seat. We have a different prescription. As Democrats, we understand that there's been a partnership at work in this country. That individual ingenuity is the basis of our nation. But public investment makes the difference. That nobody succeeds on their own. My mother didn't, people in this audience didn't. It's private ingenuity that builds jobs, that builds businesses, that grows ideas into reality. But it's public investment in schools, in roads, in clean air, in clean water, that makes all of that possible. That's the partnership that we're going to stand up for. That is the message that I'm going to sell to every single corner of this state. Push back as hard as I can on a Republican ideology that says everyone is out there for themselves. Because the reason that I'm standing here, that our family is standing here, and the reason that you're standing here is because of that magical partnership that this state and this country has gotten better than any other country in the world. Individuals committing to succeed, and a government committed to helping them. Now, I need your help, because we are going to be outspent in this race. We are not going to spend more money than the other side. I need your ideas, I need your advocacy, but I need you to go out and knock doors. I need you to go out and make phone calls. I need you to go out and talk to your friends. Because in the end, that's what's going to win this race for us. Not the number of ads on the air, but the number of